Don't say Torah, don't say Zabur, don't say Injil, because I didn't say Torah, Zabur or Injil. He's at a loss, poor chap. But I'm sure you, my brothers and sisters, are better informed than that. Now, you know that the Bible is not the word of God. I will be proving tomorrow in Baton Rouge, to my audience, inshallah. And if we can, by Allah's help, subdue this big shaitan, big shaitan. No, we must give credit. Look, we must give credit where credit is due. He is really big shaitan. I was in Sharjah, the Sultan, Dr. Sheikh Sultan Qasimi. I went to see him and I showed him this poster. And when he saw the picture, he told me these words. These are his words. This is big shaitan. I said, how do you know? You people in the Middle East, what do you know about this big shaitan? He says, no, I was in America and I was fiddling with my TV and this guy came on. And he says, I was spellbound. This guy said, even if he's swearing your mother, you can't switch him off. If he's swearing your mother, you feel like breaking the screen, you feel like breaking the TV set, but you can't switch him off. Allah gave him such powers. That charisma. He mesmerizes people. He hypnotizes people. He can make people to eat out of his hands. Like a puppy, you'll have to go to him and lap it out of his hand if you were a Christian. So guy is a master, orator. Fantastic. In my life, I haven't come across somebody more potent than him, more spellbinding than him. I haven't. I have watched his TV on video. I've got his books. I'm reading his books. You got to. See, if you go into battle, you don't go with your eyes closed. You must know what you're bargaining for. You must know your opponents, how strong they are. You just don't go in and say, now anyhow, Allah is with you. We know Allah was with us in 1948 and we got a good beating in the Middle East from the Jews. He was still with us in 56 and we got another beating. He was still with us in 67 and we still got another beating. And in 73 again we got another beating. Look, Allah is with us all the time, but you got a beating 4 times. Reason? Because we go into battle with our eyes closed. So we have to go with our eyes open. And in this I have done some little research. He has written numerous books. Numerous. I purchased 30 of his books. All these are part of all his publications. I purchased 30 of his books. And I read them all. Like fard. I made it fard. Obligatory. You have to make it obligatory. If you are going into battle, you must know exactly what your opponent is carrying. And wallah, I tell you, he's given me so much armament, so much, that the original understanding, that the format of the debate was an hour each. First speaker speaks for 50 minutes, second one 60, and the first man again for 10. And he opted to speak first. First 50, then me 60, and then he 10 again. There are advantages and disadvantages of such a format, but this is the fairest format one can think of. It's the fairest. Now he's going back on the original contract. I left my country, I'm here now, tomorrow the debate taking place, and he's talking about speaking for 20 minutes. In other words, he wants to gag me for 20. Imagine a man coming from 10,000 miles to speak for 20 minutes. And a thing concerning 1,200 million Christians who believe that this book is the book of God, he's going to deal with it 20 minutes. Reason, you might be able to guess, is the guy is terrified. You see? Because now 20 minutes he can make an oration, tantalize, do some little dancing, and create the impression that he won the day. And we won't have the chance to grapple with what he has spoken. But inshallah, pray that things come out right, that at least we have an hour each. Inshallah. Even if it's 20 minutes, we'll do the job, inshallah, in 20 minutes. But we'd prefer to have an hour. Now, in his books, he's written some beautiful books. Very potent books. He is the strongest in his condemnation of alcohol. He is the strongest among the Christian evangelists, preachers, in his condemnation of pornography. He is the strongest in his condemnation of incest. He is the strongest in his condemnation of homosexuality. These books. You know, he is the closest to the Muslims in his morality, his standard of morality. He falls a little short, and his theology is off the target, is off the mark. His theology, understanding of God. But otherwise, the man, you would say, he's the closest to the Muslims in his condemnation of all these evils. In his book on incest, which I might, if I have a chance to use, I will use, to prove that the Bible is not the word of God. Incest. He says, incest in America has become of epidemic proportions. Incest. I wonder if you all know what incest is. You do know. I don't have to explain to you. In the Middle East, I had to. You see, I asked the people, how many of you don't know the word incest? And, you know, about half of them, they used to put up their hands. They never heard the word incest. You know, it's not in our common usage. So I had to explain what incest is. But I take it that the American people are better informed than people in the Middle East or in India or Pakistan. You see, in his book, he gives us 10 cases of incest from the Holy Bible. That in this Bible, there are 10 cases. 10 different couplings of incest in this holy book, the Bible. So it does shock a person. What is it? Is this a textbook on incest? That if you want to know what can you do to commit incest? Like it tells you in the first book of the Bible called Genesis, I knew about 4 cases of incest. In his book, he gives me the 5th one. So he's my teacher. He educated me one more incest than what I knew. Father and daughters getting together night after night. And the father made the daughters pregnant, and both of them gave birth to a son each. One was named Moab, and the other one was named Ammon, from whom we get the names Ammonites and the Moabites in the Bible. Children of Lut alayhi salam cohabiting with his daughters. Then Genesis chapter 35 verse 22, it speaks about Reuben, one of the sons of Yaqub alayhi salam. He goes and cohabits with his mother on the roof. And this is, Israel was told that your son with his mother, and he didn't even say oof, he didn't even say ah, he didn't even say oof. Imagine, the man is told that your son did this to your wife. Your son did it to your wife, his mother, and he didn't even say, he said nothing. Then he speaks about Ibrahim alayhi salam. They say that he cohabited with his sister Sarah, was his sister. They say, Genesis chapter 38, it speaks about Judah, the father of the Jewish race, from whom we get the word Judaism, we get the word Judea, Huda, Yehuda, Yehudi, Judah. That Judah is going to Timnah to shear his sheep, and he sees his daughter-in-law sitting by the wayside, and he comes up to her and says, allow me to come in unto thee. This is biblical language, the King James Version. Jimmy Swaggart loves this version, King James, so I'm quoting from the King James Version. He says, allow me to come in unto thee. I'm only quoting the Holy Bible. So she said, what will that give me? He said, what, in other words, so he says, I will give you a kid from the flock, a baby goat. So she said, what guarantee that I will give it? Suppose you enjoy and you go away and I don't see you again. What guarantee is there? So what guarantee do you want? So it says your signet means your ring, and your bracelet means I had a bangle in his hand, and a staff, the danda, rod of Moses, asa. So the old man gave it to her, and he cohabited with his daughter-in-law by the roadside.